The Detroit Lions make an interesting signing. They sign a defensive tackle. And so, what's interesting about it is we've got healthy scratch defensive tackles that haven't played, yet we go out and sign another guy. I get it for depth purposes because Aleem McNeil has been put on IR. But what does this mean for Isaiah Buggs? And here's why it's interesting is because we looked at this before, but if you look at it, you look at last game snap counts, defensive tackle wise, and this is what makes this very interesting that they go out and sign a guy. And I'll get to who they signed in just a second. But Aleem McNeil, he's our best defensive tackle, playing about 70% of the snaps. He's out. Benito Jones and Bohanna have kind of rotated. And then you've got Levi, Isaiah, and Broderick Martin all healthy. There's three guys right there that could fill in for Aleem McNeil, but instead the Lions choose to go out and sign a guy, and they sign Tyson Alualua, and is a veteran guy. He's been in the league for a long time. Hasn't played actually in a little bit, but I get it for a depth piece. But it's like, okay, this is interesting that Isaiah Buggs doesn't just get plopped right in. Okay, let's roll. And he might still, but why is Isaiah Buggs still not playing and what's going on? I think this article right here sums it up perfectly. So it's why is Isaiah Buggs just been benched and fallen out of favor with the Detroit Lions? I love what they say here. You really have to go back to 2022 when we brought Buggs in. We really needed a defensive tackle. He comes in out of nowhere, plays great. He's only like 25 or something. He looks a lot older than he is. He's only played a few years. Like he's really good at in just a player that we needed. Let me blow this up a little bit. Okay, so eventually begins to start for the Lions. And after a bad start, it was Isaiah Buggs who took something of a leadership role with the team and was outspoken with players in meetings midway through the season when the Lions really started to turn it around. If you remember that, he kind of was this underdog guy, was really getting in front of the camera a little bit more, and everyone really liked Isaiah Buggs. Then to start the 2023 season, he was publicly benched, and then he really took it to the, whatever, right? You can do whatever you want, but I mean, he was really going hard on Twitter and stuff with like cryptic tweets, and it really raised more flags than it probably should have had he not done anything. This came after he missed most of the team's voluntary workouts over the offseason when pretty much all the rest of the team showed up. This did not go very well. Buggs knew that. Buggs has been on the field for 6 games this year. And then this is the perfect point. There's an idea that he generates more of a pass rush, or he's playing better than you think. But the truth is, no, he made his debut against the Falcons. He played 18 snaps in that game, 9 of which were on pass rushing snaps. The Lions did get 7 sacks in that game, but Buggs was only on the field for one of those situations. He played 8 pass rush snaps against the Packers the following week. Remember when the Lions really dominated them at Green Bay? The Lions got 5 sacks in that game, and he got one of them. He was on the field for just one other sack. He played in so basically, and I don't want to go through all of this, but there's this thought that he's better than he is, basically. And so we're like, where's he at? What's going on? The fact is, he's not playing well. He seems out of shape. He didn't come in ready to rock and roll. And so it's just kind of like he's just another rotational piece, dude. I mean, like, he's just another guy, and he's not like it should be Buggs and Aleem McNeil. And instead, it's like, oh my gosh. And this really plays into the larger picture of what's so concerning, and I'll get to that in just a second about our defensive line as a whole. But Isaiah Buggs, now it just doesn't look good for him that we went out and signed somebody right away. And again, I get a depth piece or a guy that you can just throw on the practice squad for now, but man, it's really like you should have seen like, all right, we need Isaiah Buggs now. We're gonna really count on Isaiah Buggs. We're gonna go with him. And it's like, no, I don't know. We're gonna sign somebody else. So as far as the future, Buggs did sign a 2-year extension this offseason. The Lions have an out in that deal after this year. Smart by Brad Holmes. He's so good at the 1-year deal thing. I would so mess up as a GM because you just get excited about a guy and you're like, let's go sign him. and it's amazing how much can change after 1 year. It will cost them $500,000 in dead cap to part ways with him after the year. It certainly seems like that's the way it is going. Completely agree. And what I was going to say about it is it's those three guys right here disappointing, and then in the defensive end side, these guys right here disappointing. Kaminsky has really fallen off this year. Aquara brothers and Harris. I mean, that has just really been the story, I think, of our defense. Everyone's pointing to what's going on with the defense. Defense terrible. Aaron Glenn, Aaron Glenn. It's like, man, the defensive line, and maybe that is Aaron Glenn. He's not developing and getting the offensive line or defensive line going. But even Aiden Hutchinson, who's our star. I mean, he's having trouble getting to the quarterback, and he's good. I mean, don't mishear me on this, but he's just plateaued a little bit throughout the back half of the season. So again, let me know your thoughts in the comments on this. I think the Lions are in great shape, 9-3, still good. But when we talk about really championship type runs, that's where we're still lacking, and we might need another year for that. But in the meantime, enjoy this meaningful football into December and into January. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.